might have taken that joke a little too far. All right, so we have like a little bit of a complex planetary aspect pattern brewing here, and I want to tease it apart for you all. So first of all, what we've been working with for a long time now, all of October, all of November, is this prolonged square between Mars and Neptune. We've been talking about that a lot if you've been following along with me. And Neptune is basically dispersing our energy even more than Mars and Gemini already is. It's sort of making us a little bit foggy, dreamy, and it's making me sleepy. It's making me very unfocused. But that's okay. I've been playing. I've been working my imagination. My daughter is 2, and we are developing our imagination downstairs in her playroom, and it is so fun. So yeah, we're getting lost. We're getting lost on purpose, especially with all these planets in Sagittarius now. It's all about the ride. It's all about the adventure. So Mars in this square to Neptune is also helping us to seek magic. It's helping us to seek that playful side. We're looking for that spark. We're looking to reclaim that magical spark. And yeah, Neptune very often calls our attention to what's over there or what could be possible. So we're entertaining some of these like fantasies of what if and what if it could be this way. So we're trying a lot of things on for size for right now without necessarily committing wholeheartedly to one thing, right? That's part of the magic of the mutable signs is staying flexible, staying open, being curious. So that's what's been going on. We also have this Mercury-Venus combination. They've been traveling closely since they both entered Sagittarius. And I've been hearing a lot of people just being very affectionate, overly generous with, because Venus is sweetness, Mercury communication, with saying, hey, I love you, I appreciate you, I really, just like want to express how I feel. And there's just like a lot of desire for connection and social connection, especially, and lots of jokes too. I love it, love it. So I've been loving this transit. But here on November 29th and 30th, this sweet, sugary, sharing, expressive, affectionate, jokey combination comes into an opposition with Mars. And this is where we could run into a little bit of trouble. So I want you to take heed. I want you to take caution with this one, because the thing is that Mercury in Sagittarius can be an overshare. It can be an overshare. And sometimes that honesty is refreshing. Sometimes that unfilteredness is just what we want to hear and make us feel normal, right? To make us feel like we're not alone in the way that we think. And sometimes it just makes us laugh, right? To hear other people say things that are completely goofy and just like out of left field, right? And so we've been doing that too. It's been great. But in this opposition to Mars, it's like the joke can go a little too far, or it's an overshare that actually can be offensive in some way. So I want us to take heed a little bit. And this is where, yes, there are so many gifts of Mercury in Sagittarius, so many gifts. But this is where we could see those gifts run away with us a little bit. So we want to make sure that we're not offending someone else, because a lot of times it's unintentional with this planet in this sign. But yeah, Mercury opposite Mars, that can be a confrontation. And if you are in a confrontation, sometimes it's necessary to have words, but you want to be careful of not taking it too far, because sometimes you say things that you mean, but you didn't mean to say it that way. Right? Because it could do some long-term damage, right? So that's what we want to be careful of. That's what we want to be cautious of. Now, luckily, Venus is here. So Venus does try to bring people back together. So maybe we need to have words in order to get something off our chest, right? Sometimes the truth hurts, but it's better out than in. It's better to just get it out. But here we have this opposition between Venus and Mars. And that can be tricky, because that can be hot, that can be steamy. We're sort of like riding this tension between attraction and also like creating separation, like playing hard to get a little bit. That's what this can be, because Venus wants to be close and Mars wants to point out our differences. Mars wants to find ways to create separation. And those elements are necessary for friction. Those things are necessary for attraction. So this could play in your favor of just saying, sorry, babe, I would love to hang out this weekend, but I am unavailable. And I think about this example a lot because my husband and I, I'll just be real with you, Mercury's in Sag, I can overshare. We had a baby during the pandemic and it was just us at home, just us, because we were trying to keep our baby as healthy as possible, for like a year and a half. Like it was just us. And we decided, we need to prioritize our personal lives so that we have more stories to bring to our relationship, so that we have more things to talk about together. So we decided to prioritize our personal lives for a little bit, which is great and important for a relationship. It really is. Like distance can make the heart grow fonder. But in this case, when we have these planets in Gemini and Sagittarius, can also, because Neptune is involved here, we're in a square to Neptune, can also, distance can also say, hey, I kind of like what's over there a little bit better. So we want to be a little careful with that. So yeah, Venus opposite Mars is like flirty, but like the idea of the concept of distance is present. Okay. So play with that in like, however you would like. It can be a time, like if you're in a committed relationship where you are just sort of prioritizing your own worlds a little bit and getting curious about your own interests and your own friend groups, there can be a little bit more distance here. It could be a time of discovering and adventuring in your own ways, maybe together. But again, there is like this tension. There is like this push-pull tension of the opposition. So notice how that's showing up, this sort of push-pull tension. And hopefully it's in a way that serves the dynamic, playing a little bit of hard to get a little bit. Hopefully it's not showing up as, one person really trying to put forth the energy to connect and the other person just not being available. Because both of these signs are very sort of like independent and curious and prioritizing the adventure and the learning. So yeah, with all three of these planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars in a square to Neptune, that's a whole other layer of this cake here. And that is just like, first of all, we could say 3 personal planets in a square to Neptune. That could be very magical. There could be some really magical adventures that are waiting for us with this transit. There could be a lot of projection. We really want to watch for projection here. When we have oppositions involving Neptune, be very careful about projection, that we're not projecting our own fears or hangups on to someone else's interactions with us, right? Or that could make an interesting Mercury-Mars confrontation. So that's another thing. But I do like the peace with Venus and Neptune. That can be quite magical. We'll talk more about that on the Neptune station video. But for right now, the way I want to sort of sum this up is look for the magic. We are looking for magic with this Mars retrograde. We are looking for that. So the adventure continues, basically. The adventure continues here, but now it's coming into our relationships and it's coming into our conversations and our interactions with others. But yeah, try not to lose perception from, what's in front of us versus what's over there. Sometimes what's over there can be so tempting. So notice that opposition too, of the contrast between what's enticing us over there and what is right here. Okay. So that's what I'm going to leave you off with for food for thought. And we'll continue this conversation in our Neptune stationing direct video, which is just a few days after this. So for now, that's your astrology shot of the day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Thanks for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine. You can also find me at catherineurban.com, where you can book your one-on-one consultation and get insights for your chart for the year ahead.